We're getting fired up for the Friday edition of Tom LoBianco Reports. Today is Friday, August 29th in the year of our Lord 2025. Happy Labor Day weekend, friends. We're going to be doing a little bit of politics, but we're going to be doing a lot of boxing today. Okay, Fridays is the day for fun and entertainment, sports occasionally. All right, I love boxing. That's my jam. Okay, as we get moving here, folks, if you're catching us live here on Substack, you could drop in your comments, questions, notes, whatnot. Send that all out to Ian Walters here, co-producer extraordinaire, also a fellow boxing fan. Grew up in suburban DC, a big fan of Sugar Ray Leonard, the pride of Landover, Maryland, current home of the Washington Commanders. Let's see how long it stays that way. Tentatively slated to move back to DC. And we're live. Then we're replaying at 8 p.m. over on Political Voices Network. Okay. 8 p.m. every weekday. Catch it there. If you get the morning newsletter, you've read a little bit about this. If you don't already, sign up at 24site.news. You get the readout ahead of time on what we're going to be talking about. And let's get moving with it, all right? So you see here right over my shoulder. This is, if you're a boxing fan, you know what this fight is. If you're not a huge boxing fan, you still might know what that fight is. Okay? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Tommy the Hitman Hearns, 1985, Las Vegas, middleweight title fight. All right. Let's set the scene a little bit here. Okay. Hagler, dripping with blood. Got this wicked bad cut on him. All right. This is wicked cut. Tommy Hearns, the huge right hand, had been pounded on him. All right. Keeps on getting into this cut. The Hagler's a tank. All right. I'm a bit of a tank, so I get this. All right. Just keeps plowing ahead. And boom, puts him on the mat. There's Hearns. He's got him by like easily. Hold on a second. Let me pull up the numbers here. You guys see these numbers, okay? Let me pull up these numbers. All right. Look at this. The tail of the tape. All right. Hearns is 6'1". Hagler's only 5'9.5". Both 159 pounds. Hearns has got him by 3 inches on the reach. All right. Real long, real good shot. Good, great, right? They called him the Hitman because he put you down in one shot. All right. Hagler just plows in, keeps going, boom, puts him on the mat. And I'll tell you something, if you watch boxing, I'm a huge fan. All right, if you watch boxing, there's sometimes when you know the fight's over. All right. Look at Tyson versus Berbick, 1986. All right. I think that might have been his first heavyweight title. I'm not sure. I have to go double check that. Tyson, it just puts Berbick keeps getting up. This is what's remarkable. The first round, that fight, Berbick keeps getting up and keeps taking this punishment. All right, and it makes it into the second round. And every time he gets up, Berbick looks cool. He looks fine. Everything looks great. He's like, "Hey, everything's cool. I'm getting the shit beat out of me, but I'm okay. I can do this. I got it." The last time he gets up, you know, if he gets put on the mat the last time, all right, his legs are spaghetti. And it's like you look at that knockout and you're like, that's it. There ain't nothing left. Okay. That's it. His legs are rubber. So 1985, Hagler versus Hearns. Hagler bleeding all over the place. When he finally puts Hearns on the mat, you're not really sure at first. You don't really know. At least I didn't. I was rewatching it. It's only 10 minutes. It's great. You can find it on YouTube. Top Rank Boxing. Uh, you don't really know at first. But then you see him struggling, and you're like, "Oh, whoa, 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 man! Hagler did it. That's it. That's the end of the fight. That's the whole thing. Hey, that's it. It's incredible. I watched it 3 times this morning, and it just arguably, it's not one of the it's for fans, it's probably one of the best fights, all right? It's not one of these ones that's, mythologized, all right? Like Ali and Foreman, all right? Ali, Frazier, all right? It's just raw, it's vicious, okay? And I was thinking about this week. I do think about all things politics, and, a lot of politicians like to use that phrase, the man in the arena, which is drawn from Teddy Roosevelt's 1910 speech about public leadership and being a citizen. What are your duties in society? How do you lead? How do you engage? How do you be in the ring? All right. Very often, there's the one passage taken out of there, which is taken to mean, all right, the credit goes to the person who is actually in the ring fighting, not the people on the sidelines throwing tomatoes or, modern times, shit posted on Twitter. All right. But the person who's actually in there, right, taking the beating. I'm a huge fan of Hagler because he's a workman. All right. He's not a show horse. He's a workhorse. All right. And I was reading up on his background before we got rolling today. Just incredible. There's a really cool clip. I'm not a huge fan of Joe Rogan's political stuff because very oftentimes he does not seem to know what he's talking about. Look, that's fine. That's where we are these days. But when it comes to fighting, Rogan does know what he's talking about, and I love that stuff. Older Joe Rogan clips, not the recent stuff, not like the weird, health food, UFO shit. But when he's when he's in his element, all right. And there's a really great interview he does. It was like 2019 with Mike Tyson, and they're talking about Hagler. It's incredible, and you can tell these are two people who really understand the sport. All right, and they're talking about growing up. Rogan's talking about growing up in Boston in the '80s. All right, and he's seeing these training videos of Hagler. He got his sweatsuit on. He's running through Cape Cod in the snow, just grinding away. All right, he just working his ass off. And at that point, back for this fight, 1985, he was based out of Brockton, Mass. All right, uh, Hearns based out of Detroit. And I'll tell you a funny story. I got like a 2 or 3 degrees of Hearns connection here. Okay, my old friend Suni Khalid, who used to be the news director over at WYPR in Baltimore, and is now out on the West Coast. And he's going to kill me for this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to Google it. It's Suni Khalid. It's KALW. It's not KQED. It's KALW in California. Okay. Well, Suni used to fight, not like made it professional stuff, but he was a boxer. All right, he was the beating bag, the heavy bag, the human heavy bag for Tommy Hearns once decades ago. Man, you should hear his stories. The speed of Hearns. All right, here's this guy with this. It just is wicked right, man. Just killer right. And they called him the hitman because he put a lot of people down. All right, now he did. Now this is I think they call it like the second golden age of boxing in the early '80s. All right, you got people like Sugar Ray Leonard, these middleweight champions. All right, Sugar Ray Leonard, here DC, Roberto Duran. All right, I believe Panama. All right, right next to Colombia. uh, the hands of stone. No mas, no mas. And Hagler, marvelous Marvin Hagler, changed his name legally changed his name to Marvelous, and Tommy the Hitman Hearns, based out of Detroit. So we're here in Las Vegas. All right, 1985, middleweight title fight, and Hagler is just he's a pit bull. All right, he's built like a tank. All right, he's older than Hearns. All right, you're not sure if he's going to have the gas in the tank. Get out there, and the first round of this thing is just incredible. It is amazing. It is the nastiest, most vicious street fight in all of boxing that you've ever seen. All right, normally when you go boxing, if you can see, like tilt you over here. So those are some of my myths. I'm not a serious boxer, but I do I do some been doing this for 4 years, training at the gym. Nothing serious. Very light sparring. Okay, very light, not serious, not tagging each other in the head seriously or anything. Um, you can tell the difference between these two. A lot of times there is when you are boxing, when you're out there in the ring, it's interesting. One of the things that you have to control, right? There's when you're out pounding on a heavy bag. Okay, when you're just doing the workout, when you're doing your training, no, it feels great. I love it. It clears my head. It keeps me normal. Gets out a lot of frustrations. A lot of frustrations. It's really incredible for clearing your head. All right. Um, I remember the first time I started doing it about 4 years ago. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was hitting the heavy bag so hard, I was actually spraining my wrist because I didn't know how to land a punch. That doesn't really happen anymore. But man, it's great. As you get on and you start, it's like just like flag football. All right, where I go boxing, nothing heavy. Uh, you do get in the ring. All right, we'll do a 3-minute round with the other guys at the gym, and the thing you learn, and this is really crucial, you learn to control your adrenaline. All right, you don't know how you're going to react the first time you get tagged in the face, and your instinct. I'll tell you this. There was this little guy, my Indian friend at AT. I'm probably like 220. He's like a buck 20. All right. But great form. All right. And, I could put, if I land a shot, right, seriously, and we don't do that, but, seriously, I could put people down, right? So I'm the heavyweight in there. Okay. AT is like 120. Weight matters in this stuff. Man, first time I got punched in the nose, and it was mostly unintentional. I walked right into one of his jabs. And after you get done with that feeling of just shock, all right, there's a little bit of pain, all right, a little bit of shock. After you get done with that, there's like this animal rage, all right, the adrenaline's pumping, and like you gotta control yourself, right? You want to just start going after them, all right, which totally is the wrong thing to do in most cases. All right. In most cases, you should not be doing that. All right. Because then you get sloppy. You forget to keep your guard up. You're not paying attention to things. It's real important. Ring intelligence. All right. Boxing intelligence when you're in there. Uh, Mastering the space. All right. Especially if you're shorter. All right. If you're longer, it's a little bit easier for you. Right. You got longer reach. You're taller. All right. You got a little bit more work with. If you're shorter, like I have, you got to push people into the corners, push them into the ropes. All right. That requires good footwork, good positioning, good moving around the ring. Uh, and you gotta keep your wits about you. Also have to keep pretty good sense of the clock. You don't want to box yourself out in the first round. Okay. You don't want to throw everything you got, because you will get gassed. All right. You will be panting. You'll have nothing left for the later rounds. And that's its own strategy too. drawing somebody out, letting them box themselves out, so to say. All right. So that by the time they're in the second, third, fourth round, what have you, they're just exhausted. They can't keep their hands up. Easy target. Okay, that's its own strategy. All right. I say all of this as a preface to the first round of it. I'm just gonna say it is the greatest fight. It's the greatest fight I've ever seen. It's fucking amazing. All right. The first round of Hagler versus Hearns, 1985. They don't do any of that. There's no, there's no intelligence. There's no boxing intelligence. There's no strategy. No nothing. It's just slugging. It's just sheer animal rage. It is incredible to watch. All right. You got you're supposed to lead with your jab, all right? And Hearns is orthodox, right? So technically you're supposed to lead with your left. He's basically leading with his power shot, his right, throughout the entire thing. Right, that first round and opens up the cut on Hagler. It's really, really profound. Hagler, Southie, is left, all right, or the lefty, southpaw. Uh, he, uh, he's working on him. He's trying to get into his body. But he keeps on getting tagged with his right, and this cut opens up. Switches his stance a couple times too. But man, their arms are flailing. They're slugging each other. It's incredible. It is just bonkers. I mean, just the most visceral boxing match you've ever seen. All right, there's kind of like this dichotomy of boxing when you're in there, right? One element is the human intelligence, all right. And funny to note, I did not realize there was such a thing as chess boxing. I thought that was a clever term to refer to the intellectual aspect of it when you were in the ring. Turns out there is a thing called an actual sport called chess boxing, which involves playing chess and boxing. So if you put him in checkmate or put him on the ground first, whoever does that first wins. There's a chessboard off to the side of the ring. I always took that to mean the intellectual side of it, managing your time, managing the space in the ring. All right. Then the other part of it is the animal instinct, watching the other person, relying on your own instincts, reacting, slipping, moving around, trying to get a sense, drawing them in, try to draw them in. All right. Putting your shots together. Very, there's a dichotomy of these things. Well, this first round, total animal. Total animal. It's all instincts. It's incredible. So by the end of this first round, it's incredible. It's so good that the guys doing the play-by-play, I forget who's doing the play-by-play for that one. They're like, this might be the greatest round of all boxing. Like, it's so good in the moment. They know the history of it when they're saying it. All right, so good. Get to the second round. All right. Second round, it's different. Hearns comes out there. He's dancing around now. All right. Hagler switches stances. All right. Now he's fighting orthodox. He's righty. Okay. And he's putting it on him. And you can see that Hearns realizes that power right he was pummeling him with has not only not put him down, they got that cut fixed up too. All right. So now you got Hagler chasing him all over the ring. All right. And this is a very different round. All right. It's a dance. All right. It is very different from the first round. The first round is just slugging each other. Second round, you're like, okay, now they both start to realize, hey, we might need to be doing this for a little while. All right. I might need to do a little more strategy. Now we're moving into a little bit more of the intellectual side of it. All right. What is the strategy here? What are we thinking about here? And good round, strong. All right. I've ran my second round notes. Hearns looks a little bit gassed. When you box yourself out, and this is the problem with these power shots, all right? Why you don't want to throw them, you want to set them up. And it's why people go to the body. All right. Your legs start to give out. You don't notice it at first. All right, but it builds over time. As they note in the color commentary, a lot of the articles written on this, the rub on Hagler is that he's slow. It takes a little while to build up. Okay. Second round of this thing, you're already seeing Hearns start to get a little wobbly. All right. Part of the reason he's keeping away from it. All right. So nothing major second round. All right. They get through that 3 minutes. They get through that back to the corners. And, it's the cut opens up again on Hagler. So they're fixing that up. All right. Some Vaseline up there. Take care of him. All right. Go out for the third round. All right. There's this moment where Hagler tags him again. Or not Hagler, sorry. Hearns tags Hagler again. All right. And opens up the cut real bad. And you can see Hagler in the third round is trying to keep the pressure on because he knows this is the only way he's going to win. All right. Hearns gets him. He opens up the cut again. Ref pauses the fight, sends Hagler over to the doctor. Might be over. I mean, he's dripping blood all over his face. All right. It's not, I don't know if it's technicality or not, but he has the feel of like, oh, maybe this thing will not be won on a knockout. It's going to be won on technicality almost. All right. Which is you got to call the fight, right? If the guy can't fight, you got to call the fight. All right. And that's how bad this cut is. Blood all down his face. But they don't. They keep going. All right. And that might fuck with his rhythm too. Okay. That might mess with his rhythm. Hagler comes back out, gets right back into it. And just a couple seconds later, man, he's pummeling. Hearns gets the shot that puts him on the mat. That's it. That's the one. You can see his legs are going, struggling to get up. And that's it, man. It's done. It's like almost 10 minutes start to finish between the, spaces in between. I think they were like 2.5 minutes into the third round. It's incredible. Just incredible. It's one of the greatest. I'm gonna link this in. I forgot to send it out this morning. When I send around the next one on Tuesday. All right, we're taking Labor Day off here. On Tuesday, I'll make sure to link it because it is so fucking good. It's so amazing. Even if you're not a boxing fan, all right, this might get you into boxing. Okay. So with that, I'm gonna wrap this up. If you guys got any comments, let me see. If you want to say, anything you're following, anything you want to talk about. So if you're a boxing fan like me and you really enjoyed that one, tell me about it. Tell me about some of your favorite fights. I'd love to hear about it. Um, let's see if let me open up my notes here and see if uh oh, Lindsay, there we go. Lindsay Hake. Hey, Lindsay, what is up? Kind of like the 2024 Indiana Republican lieutenant governor fight. Little bit. For folks who don't know, well, Lindsay, hey. Lindsay, good friend, good Hoosier friend, another Indiana State House veteran. You're really doing these fights when you have a good convention battle. If it's a real one, all right. With this 2024 state Republican Party battle, the 2016 RNC convention, the Republican National Convention, which determined Trump really, back in 2016 in Cleveland. All right. You do get these things, all right. Very analogous, where you have Cruz and Trump slugging it out over the delegates, all right, fighting it all the way to the end. Boy, that was a hell of a convention. I don't think you'll ever see another one like that. Certainly not these two. The parties are floating for the midterm. Might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I don't even know if I'll cover them. Sorry. That's past its prime. But that Indiana Republican convention was a great delegate battle. It was a fight for the individual votes in which the current lieutenant governor, who I've written a little bit about, it's the one with the deep fake porn scandal in his office, which you can go find over at 24 Site News. Beat out the Trump nominee, actually the Trump endorsed nominee for lieutenant governor there. It was, I would say it was more vicious, the fighting from, the current lieutenant governor, the guy who ultimately won, Micah Beckwith, than it was from, the governor, Mike Braun, at that time of the gubernatorial nominee, and his pick, Julie McGuire, State Representative Julie McGuire, arguably were not in the fight there. They just got hammered in that. It was like 890 something to like 819. I can't remember the exact number, but that was not a race that they were supposed to lose. Not a convention battle they were supposed to lose. It was very solid. Um, all right, guys. So here's the rhythm of this thing. We close out the first week here. Uh, hey, you got it, Lindsay. Gladly. As I've noted with a number of my sources, and guys, you should really check this out. I wrote about this a couple weeks ago. Um, Two of the staffers inside of Beckwith's office were discovered watching in his state house office, were discovered watching a deep fake porn. It's a topless video that was made of a state lawmaker's wife out there back in April. And this is actually the subject of an ongoing criminal investigation right now. As it turns out, I did not realize this when I first recorded this, so I found this out in subsequent reporting. It is against the law to make in Indiana, much as it is in most states, and now it is also a federal law to make a non-consensual deepfake porn of another person. So this is now the subject of an ongoing criminal investigation. I may have some more on that in coming days and weeks. Don't want to get out ahead of myself. Certainly don't want to report anything without having it confirmed. But yeah, keep it here. Okay, there will be more on that. This a lot of wild stuff going on in that office. So as we wrap up here, the first week of the Tom LoBianco Reports. Number one, thanks guys for being here. I appreciate you. All right. We're going to be back on Tuesday. We're got a long weekend. Hope you guys all have a great Labor Day weekend. Here's kind of the rhythm of this. All right. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day at noon, live on Substack, and then the replay again at 8 p.m. on Political Voices Network. That's hard politics. All right. That's what's going on in the country. We're talking about, is Trump going to leave? Is he going to try to be a dictator basically and not leave? All right. Well, what are the parameters of that? We're talking about the fight for control of the House of Representatives, the midterm elections. Next week, we're going to be diving in. Ian and I were putting together our show plan for next week. I believe we're going to be diving in on this Virginia special election that's coming up. We'll have a lot on Congress coming back. So that's every Monday through Thursday, except for federal holidays. And then Friday's fun day. All right. I'll probably do some more boxing. I love boxing, but we'll mix it up. Okay. We got some entertainment. If you got something you want to see, you got something you want to hear about, something you're interested in, whether it's the serious, the hardcore news stuff, or whether it's more entertaining stuff, or maybe it's state officials and their staff, doing this like deep fake porn stuff, which I don't know where the hell that falls in that spectrum. It almost feels like it falls somewhere between the serious and the entertaining. Drop a note right back to me if you get the email in the morning. You can just reply to the email. If you're here live on Substack, you can drop it in the comments. You can also, if you reply on 8 p.m. When it airs on Political Voices Network on YouTube, just drop it in the comments. We'll see that. I'll take a look at that. I do troll the comments. I don't troll, but I do trawl the comments, looking for stuff. And hope you guys all have an excellent Labor Day weekend. We'll catch you on Tuesday. Make sure to tune in. I'll be on C-SPAN Washington Journal Monday morning, 9 a.m. If you want to call in, you got questions, hey, we'll do that there too. All right, you can always find me here at noon. You can call in if you like on C-SPAN Monday, 9 a.m. And also Tuesday, I'm going to be on with Kate Anderson Brower. She's the author of many New York Times bestsellers, but also one that came out a few years ago called The First in Line, which is about the relationships of vice presidents with their presidents. We're going to be talking about the dynamic of J.D. Vance and Donald Trump versus Mike Pence and Donald Trump. We're going to be analyzing those two, taking a look at what's on the horizon, what we can glean from this the start of the second Trump administration, whatnot. So that's it for me, guys. I'll catch you. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you on Monday on C-SPAN. Here, Tuesday, you name it. Have a good weekend, guys.